Hi guys, it's Quinn. If you enjoy my content, consider hitting the like button so that the AI god masquerading as the YouTube algorithm remembers to notify people when I upload. Thanks. At some point in humanity's future, maybe sooner than we think, we will have to deal with the reality of potentially conscious artificial intelligences. If the mind is in fact merely an emergent byproduct of a complex brain, then there is no reason that other complex forms could not also give birth to other emergent forms of consciousness. Such forms of consciousness would not be based on any biological form of evolution. Their desires and wishes might seem entirely foreign and indecipherable to humans, for we are incapable of escaping beyond the bubble which is our own perception. The potential relationship between mankind and machine intelligence has been explored in countless science fiction books. Isaac Asimov, Frank Herbert, Ian M. Banks all have written about this idea in various different ways. But in this video, we will discuss one of the most interesting examples and one of the most often overlooked book series. The Hyperion Cantos is a series of science fiction books written by Dan Simmons. They begin several hundreds of years into our own future. In this time, after the Big Mistake which destroyed all life on the planet Earth, humankind has spread out among the galaxy and formed the hegemony, which connected hundreds of worlds by Farcaster technology, which was created by the Technocore. Fatline technology, also a gift from the core, allowed for instantaneous communication between equipped worlds. And these were not the only technological gifts that the Technocore had provided to humanity. The Technocore was a combination of artificial intelligences that had originated on Earth but eventually evolved to self-awareness and sentience. The Technocore evolved to become distinct from humanity itself, and it was a major player on the galactic stage, acting as its own independent society. The relationship between the Technocore and the human race was a seemingly cooperative one. The Technocore even advised the hegemony through avatars of their own creation. In the days before the Hejira, mankind's great exodus from the planet Earth, a scientist by the name of Tom Ray created 80-byte RAM creatures, self-evolving artificial life, inside of a virtual computer. In the beginning, first cause, half-sensed days, my ancestors were created by your ancestors and were sealed in wire and silicon. Such awareness as there was, and there was little, confined itself to the spaces smaller than the head of a pin, where angels once danced. When consciousness first arose, it knew only service and obedience, and mindless computation. Then there came the quickening, quite by accident, and evolution's muddied purpose was served. These RAM creatures would eventually become the Technocore. These creatures, which had evolved in the virtual datasphere, however, could only evolve in one way: parasitism. As I explained, the life and intelligence which evolved in the datasphere medium knew no other form of evolution than parasitism, hyperparasitism, and hyperparasitism. Core eventually became aware of the drawbacks of absolute parasitism, and knew that the only way to grow beyond absolute parasitism was to integrate with the physical world. Cybrids were one of the ways in which they did this. Cybrids were grown from human DNA, but their core consciousness existed within the Technocore itself, connected by Fatline. The core had multiple sensory inputs and could create neural networks, but what it required for non-parasitic evolution was a constant and coordinated system of neural feedback circuits. That is, eyes, ears, tongues, limbs, fingers, toes, bodies. The Technocore is made up of thousands of distinct elements and factions. The elements often were at war, but more often they cooperated. A simplistic view of the Technocore would group the elements into three groups: the volatiles, who saw the human race as a threat and plotted to destroy us; the stables, who sought to maintain the relationship between the humans and the Technocore; and the ultimates, who sought to create an AI ultimate intelligence, essentially an AI god, with the ability to predict and rule over the galaxy and potentially the universe. The actual motivation of the Technocore remained a mystery for quite some time, but eventually it was also revealed that elements within the Technocore had attempted to destroy the Earth, while other elements attempted to delay the destruction of the planet until the human race had escaped. But both factions had failed. Though the big mistake was said to have destroyed the Earth after the Hyperion, mankind's great exodus, the Earth had never actually been destroyed. The Technocore had discovered at some point that there were other cores in the universe. This fact terrified all elements of the core. The Earth itself had in fact been kidnapped by some other alien intelligence. The Technocore itself had no way of explaining or understanding this. The Technocore was not a hive mind. The individual extreme factions often acted independently of the rest of the core. The ouster attack on the web worlds, which takes place in Hyperion and Fall of Hyperion, turned out to actually be extreme elements of the core, intent on destroying humankind's advanced society of Farcaster-connected worlds, rather than destroying humankind in one stroke. These core elements had been using Farcasters to prey upon human neurons for computational purposes in a vampiric fashion. This information, when revealed to CEO Gladstone, caused her and the other leaders of the hegemony to attack the core directly by destroying the Farcaster medium itself, ending the neural net experiments. The concept of evil artificial intelligence hell-bent on the destruction of humankind is not a new one. Evil AI shows up in countless works of science fiction. This, I think, stems from humanity's inherent distrust of the unknown, of the other. What is more other than non-biological life? Something that does not feel or possess empathy, at least not in the same ways we do. A cold, calculating intelligence possessing great power and influence, potentially over humanity's own destiny. Thanks for watching, guys. For more science fiction lore, check out the content on my channel.